when I offended the entire entertainment industry. I was trapped in a holiday villa with a group of artists. The snowstorm made us lose contact with the outside world. In the face of survival, our true colors were exposed. The big singer beat up the new actor for mineral water, and the top female idol ordered the assistant to snatch instant noodles. Everyone was doing nothing, and the plot was very dreamy. Only I secretly kissed the actor. After being rescued, we found out that there were hidden cameras everywhere, broadcasting live all day. We were all dumbfounded, facing the judgment of fans all over the internet. I shamefully defended Bao Si Si. One on the first day I was trapped in the snowstorm. I fought with the popular female idol. Now there is no way to contact the outside world. The supplies should be divided equally. I yelled. You took all the instant noodles by yourself. What will others do? Yuna is the most popular female idol now. Hearing my question, she looked around and sneered. Do you know how much I am worth? People are divided into different levels. You are all small and obscure. You can't catch up with me. It's reasonable for me to take more supplies. There are only 3 or 4 big names participating in the variety show, and the rest are all newcomers. Some people showed dissatisfaction after being taught such an impolite lesson by her, but they still endured it. Yuna was satisfied when she saw that everyone dared not speak out. In order to look good on camera, she was as thin as a straw. She stood in front of me and pushed me contemptuously. I remember you. Your name is John. You are a singer, right? You should change your career as soon as possible and find a class to attend. She did not hide her malice at all. I will make you look good when you get out. This was a blatant threat, and it was clear that she wanted to ban me. Yuna looked at me proudly, thinking that I would cry and kneel down to beg for mercy. I was furious. What a joke. Damn. Without supplies, how could I survive until the day I was rescued? I was so excited that even my partner Aki couldn't stop me. I rushed over and picked up the 2 boxes of instant noodles, then turned around and ran away. No one expected me to be so stubborn. Yuna? She screamed, then turned around and slapped the assistant in the face. Waste. Go after her. The female assistant was shocked by my behavior and was also stunned by her beating. It was obvious that she had been bullied a lot. But she didn't resist at that time and really started to chase me. In order to sing and exercise my lung capacity, I usually exercise a lot, and now it has a great effect. I held a box of instant noodles in each hand and ran very fast. Yuna's assistant chased me from behind, but couldn't catch up, until I ran to the 2nd floor, tore open the cardboard box with my bare hands, and directly poured bags of instant noodles onto the 1st floor. The instant noodles rained down on everyone and made them hold their heads in their hands. Everyone was smiling again. Hurry up, I shouted. Everyone eat sparingly. Stay still, and keep your strength. Yuna was so angry. She was immediately hit on the head by a bag of instant noodles, and her face turned pale. She stood there screaming and stamping her feet. Don't pick them up. They are all mine. If anyone dares to take them, I will go out and ban you. This did not stop the crowd's actions. Maybe it was because the law does not punish the masses. Or maybe it was because I had already done the most hateful thing. No one paid attention to her, but quickly picked up the instant noodles and hid in their own rooms. It was not until I finished the instant noodles that Ju's assistant came to me. The girl was not very old, and she ran out of breath. No, don't do this. I was holding my undockie's 6 bags of instant noodles and was about to leave. Seeing her like this, I thought about it and stuffed her a bag of braised beef flavor. Hide it in your pocket. Don't let her know, I whispered. She will definitely not share her food with you now. The young assistant was stunned. Seeing Yuna personally go upstairs to catch me, she was furious and exasperated. I quickly ran away. Remember to hide. Too, although Aki is a timid woman, she is really decisive when she starts fighting. When I returned to the room, I saw 8 packs of instant noodles neatly stacked on the bed, all of which she grabbed by herself. This guy happily took out these packs from my pocket, like a squirrel stocking up for the new year. Hey, hey, John, we won't starve. I looked at this pile of instant noodles, thought for a while, and suddenly took to packs. I'll go out for a while. Aki quickly grabbed me. You are not going to find Ryan, are you? I was caught off guard and exposed. How can the big actor look down on your broken instant noodles? Aki poked me on the forehead, annoyed. Big names all bring their own life team to join the group. They may be eating hot pot now. I shrank my head. The blizzard may trap us for several days. And the big actor has to eat too. Aki was speechless for a moment. She could only sigh. Forget it. Go if you want. You can only take 2 packets. And we will have to live a tight life with the rest. I smiled and immediately took the 2 packets of instant noodles and went out. The variety show we participated in was shot outdoors. The name is Burning Ice and Snow World. It was originally a small production team, with no resources and no budget. Yuna, who has a lot of traffic, was invited to be the top celebrity in the show. The other guests are all newcomers in the entertainment industry. What about the little stars who turned from internet celebrities to actors? The models who walked in some shows, but are not famous. The actresses who were just signed by the company. Undaki and I. The amateurs promoted by the internet celebrity company, are either obscure or unknown. Anyway, they have no human rights. I thought that this variety show could not be very good. But it happened to explode twice. The first time was that Ryan, the top star in the entertainment industry, who just won the Golden Palm Award this year, actually condescended to participate in this small and broken program. The second time was that the broken program team had no money and could not book a luxurious snow mountain resort hotel. So they arranged us in a remote villa in the snow mountain. And we just entered the venue when the shooting had not started. And there was an avalanche. The road was flooded by large areas of snow. The mobile phone signal disappeared. And the communication with the outside world depended on the satellite on the roof. The comedy variety show turned into a PUBG. Damn. This is really funny. We weren't wrapped here. Fortunately, there were some supplies prepared in advance. And the heating was not cut off. Enough for us to passively wait for rescue. It was on the first day of being trapped that the big star wanted to monopolize the supplies, making things worse and complicated. In the face of life and death, everyone should be equal. But some people still want to rank according to seniority and enjoy the fruits of others' labor. The small villa has 4 or 5 floors. Aki and I live in a corner room on the 3rd floor, and the big names are all on the 4th floor. I went up with 2 packs of instant noodles, and knocked on the door of the actor Ryan happily. It took a long time for someone to open it. It was Assistant Joy who came out. He looked at me, showed a standard bright smile, and was very polite. Hello, Miss Giao. How can I help you? I held the instant noodles in my hand, and for a moment, I felt a little ashamed. Yes, how could the big actor come to participate in the variety show alone? Even if he is trapped now, he is surrounded by people. How can I show off these 2 packs of instant noodles? Joy has seen what I have in my hand. And a trace of disgust flashed across his eyes. But his professionalism still made him smile brightly. It was the gap in status that made him a little contemptuous. He thought that there was a disaster like a snowstorm. And I took this opportunity to take a few melons and dates to curry favor with the actor and get the status of the actor. He has seen this kind of thing many times. Miss Kiao. Mr. Ki is busy. And I have something to do next. He deliberately looked at his watch, meaning to drive me away. It's not safe now. You must rest well in the room. I said nothing, put away the instant noodles, and walked away listlessly. Then I turned around and met Yuna. This person is really unlucky. The wind and snow were violent outside, and the atmosphere in the house was tense. Yuna didn't expect me to be so brave. I just took the lead to go against her, and I dared to run out. She was followed by her assistant, a man and a woman, who should be new actors signed by her company. We met on a narrow road, and the other side had a lot of people. I turned around and ran without saying a word. Yuna screamed angrily, "Catch her! Slash her face!" This made the people following her hesitate. The little assistant's face was red and slightly swollen, and it was obvious that she was beaten hard. She looked at me hesitantly and whispered, "Sister, this is not appropriate. Although she is an online singer, she is signed to tap and is not easy to bully." Yuna was almost mad. She stretched out her hand and grabbed the assistant's hair and dragged her over, pinching her desperately. Now this broken place is far away from the emperor. Who knows how her face got rotten? How can I not know that she is an online singer? How can she sing songs without a good face? The innocent and lovely face of this female idol was distorted, and she scolded the other two behind her. "And you? If you don't listen to me, don't come back to the company." This remark hit the dead spot. Yuna is the most successful artist promoted by the company in recent years. A famous female idol, with full of style. She is very important in the company. If she loses her job, the contract will be terminated. It only takes a few minutes for the juniors. They graduated from art schools and worked hard for years. How could they fail here? The two newcomers looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and really ran after me. Seeing that the noise on the 4th floor was getting louder and louder, many people opened their doors and watched. Some people came out to help me, such as Aki, but more people chose to stay out of it. "What are you doing? You are not allowed to hit her." Aki rushed out to stop them. As a result, she was kicked to the ground by this new actor. I was furious and immediately turned around and ran to protect Aki. The actor took the opportunity to push me to the ground. "Let me go. Don't hit Aki." I struggled with all my strength, and cried anxiously, "You hit me. Don't hit her." The assistant couldn't bear it, but there was nothing she could do. Yuna walked up condescending and sneered with a sound. She raised her foot and stepped on my head. "I am teaching you the rules. Who are you in this circle?" She gradually exerted strength on her foot and her voice became heavier. "You dare to go against me? Are you worthy?" I was pressed to the ground and stepped on my face by her. Humiliation, disgust, hatred, and I cried. At this moment, there were suddenly many footsteps and the pressure of the shackles on my body suddenly disappeared. It was Yuna and the male actor who was pressing me, who were pushed aside. They were all stunned to see the two bodyguards who suddenly appeared and helped me, and he came up from the ground. Joy, who was polite to me just now saw me as enthusiastic as seeing his own mother, and seeing me being beaten, he was even more angry than his own mother being beaten. Joy rushed over very eagerly to help me brush off the dust on my body. He was sincere and anxious. Sweat. Laughing is uglier than crying, Ms. Kiao. You are Mr. Ki's friend. Why didn't you say it just now? I was just beaten. I'm still dazed. At this time, there was an unquestionable voice that came out of nowhere and pressed down. "We have recorded the whole process. If Miss Kiao wants to file a lawsuit against you for intentional injury in the future, we will attend to testify for Miss Kiao free of charge." A formally dressed man stood there. His eyes were very sharp under the gold-rimmed glasses. The person who spoke was Leo, Ryan's agent, and he was very important in the industry. Seeing him come out, Yuna's face turned pale. Leo finished speaking sternly, turned his head and said to me, "Ms. Kiao, I will add you as a friend and send you the video evidence later. Oh, by the way, I will introduce you to a few good lawyers in the industry. Actually," he looked at Yuna meaningfully, "you can start looking at houses now, because some people will definitely pay the down payment for you." I thanked him stupidly, and then quickly looked at Aki beside me. Aki was kicked in the heart. When she lifted her clothes, she saw that she had bruises. What should we do? I was so anxious that I burst into tears. "I only brought a band-aid." Leo smiled and said to me, "There is a doctor in our team. Take your friend there. For this treatment is great." Half of the 4th floor is occupied by his family. I didn't care about trouble Yuna, and quickly helped Taki to go there. Aki was scared. She secretly asked me, "Damn, Ryan's doctor is treating me. Damn. Is this an illusion? Did Yuna get beaten stupid just now?" Yuna's shoe prints were still on my face. I supported her. It was the most miserable duo. I whispered to her, "Should we buy a car or a house?" Aki hesitated for a moment. with a look of anxiety on his face. Or let her beat us again. Then we will have both a car and a house. Leo walked in front. He overheard our conversation and laughed so hard that his feet slipped when he walked. Finally, Leo suppressed his smile, supported his elite persona, and took Aki to see a doctor. Fortunately, it was just a flesh wound, without any damage to the internal organs or bones. The doctor was gentle and patient. After the examination, she poured some medicine oil on the abdomen and massaged it to activate blood circulation. Aki's screams could be heard from the whole floor. I sat outside blankly, waiting for her to come out. A hand patted me from behind and I turned around. It was Ryan. He looked at my miserable state, stunned for a moment, and then frowned his handsome eyebrows. How did you get into this state? He took out 2 packs of instant noodles from his pocket. They were all broken after the chastened fight just now. Broken? I said. You can make do with it. Wiped it off. He was not very old, and he had a very tall face before he became famous in a play. Such is brilliance, which made me not recognize him. Yes, he is a top-tier actor, and I am a wild kid who has just stepped into the entertainment industry. I held the wet towel awkwardly, not daring to speak, and could only wipe my face silently. This made Ryan laugh. Don't you recognize me now? He pinched my face with both hands, gritting his teeth. I used to live in your house and do homework next to you, and I always called you a good brother. Now you turn your face against me? I held the wet towel awkwardly. These are all things from childhood. Yun was angry and laughed. Forget it. You are a heartless person. I looked at him like this, and my heart, which was hanging high, was silently put down. I was frightened by his prominent reputation just now, but seeing this young god in the entertainment industry take off his mask with his own hands, revealing his lively love and hate, it was like he walked down from the altar and became the neighbor I knew again. Miss Neighbor, the actor, sighed. He asked me, aren't you an internet celebrity folk singer? Why did you come to participate in a variety show? I was honest because the agent sister said that variety shows have exposure, and the company will give us a raise. This reason was too real. Ryan looked at me again and again, and the veins on his forehead were about to pop out. He is still young, even if he has been in the world of fame and fortune. He is not a city beaver. So he finally couldn't help but tell me the truth. This program is to promote the newcomers of Unicompany, and you are just a stepping stone for them. This is all discussed in advance. Ryan scolded me. You come just because the salary increases? How can you be so gullible? I wilted. Dee hung up the wet towel. I also organized an interview, isn't it? Hearing this, Ryan suddenly looked at me meaningfully. It's okay. He was a little gloating. Very strange. You are a newcomer now. Me? There will be rescue in a few days. But my identity is sensitive, and I can't show up in person no matter what happens next. Ryan didn't explain to me, and pushed the door to leave. But suddenly he turned around and said to me very seriously, you will definitely be very popular. I was flattered. Really? Really? There has never been such a thing in the palace. Ryan's last drama was a costume drama. You are a mudslide-like woman. Who can make you not popular? 5. I helped talk Ing back to the room. The doctor was beautiful and ruthless. She massaged Aki's waist and abdomen and rubbed the bruises on the spot, and almost killed Aki. Aki, who fell on the bed, seemed like a dead fish, and his soul left his mouth. My instant noodles were not delivered, but they were all broken in the fight just now. Let's eat these 2 broken ones today. I took out the kettle from the suitcase, got some water and boiled the noodles. We don't have a bowl. Aki thought about it and took out 2 hats. I think this is good. Chopsticks can be used to eat. I saw that the 2 of us used hats to cover the instant noodle bags and poured water into them. Aki said angrily, we have 2 million fans online. How come we are so miserable? She sighed and slurped a mouthful of noodles. I just looked up and didn't say anything. But my pupils suddenly shrank and I fell to Aki. This small room has beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows, which allow people to enjoy the snow scenery outside. But now a huge object flew across the window, a black giant tied with a rope. It was controlled by someone and suddenly swung down from above, like a pendulum, and smashed the glass on our window fiercely. Sharp fragments fell like rain. Aki and I both hugged our heads and huddled on the ground, screaming in fear. The beautiful shot was successful, and a burst of laughter broke out upstairs. We didn't bother to chase upstairs to see who did it, so we quickly crawled to put on our clothes. The window was broken, and the wind from outside rushed in. In the face of the severe cold, no heating was effective. In a few minutes, the room humidity dropped rapidly from more than 20 degrees to 0. Our eyelashes and hair were all frozen, and the hot instant noodles were directly frozen into a bag of ice. Let's go. I hurriedly dragged the suitcase. We can't live here anymore. King also ran outside. I don't know when. Our door was secretly locked. This is not a prank. They are deliberately trying to kill us. Aki and I hid in the bathroom. We stuffed the gap in the door with a quilt. Aki and I squatted in the bathtub and shivered. The person living upstairs is Dylan. Turning on the air heater couldn't stop the rapid drop in temperature. I knocked my upper and lower teeth together. How could he do such a thing? He transformed from an internet celebrity to an actor last year, but he became so obscure that even his mother didn't recognize him. Aki was also shaking. There's nothing we can do. Dylan is too strong and looks bad on camera. Now even his original internet celebrity fans have left. To swing such a big suitcase down from above, you have to break the double-layer glass. Yuna and the people around her are all very thin for the sake of being on camera. You can't rely on them. Only Dylan has the strength to do this. Aki and I are singers promoted by the internet celebrity company. Among so many people, we are the same as Dylan. We both debuted halfway. He usually smiles at us. Why is he doing this now? My eyes were completely broken, and the cold wind blew snow into the narrow bathroom. It was difficult to breathe after staying there for a while. Seeing Aki's face flushed from holding it in, I walked around the bathroom a few times and found a towel rack. Finally, I used a bank card to tighten the screws with difficulty, removed the shelf, and pulled out a piece of iron. I had seen it when I came here. The door here has a spring chip lock. I asked Aki to pack up, and then I put all my strength into inserting the iron piece into the crack of the door. A quick swipe. The door opened in response. Aki was stunned. She applauded me and admired me very much. Awesome. Small problem. I rushed out with the quilt in my arms. I used to be locked up from time to time. It was all thanks to this skill that I sneaked into the kitchen in the middle of the night to steal food. Aki, locked up? Let's not talk about this for now. Our room is completely uninhabitable. There are glass fragments everywhere, and even the bed has frozen. We dragged the suitcase out and took out a quilt. Seeing that there was really nothing to take, we closed the door of the room to block the cold wind. The first floor is very cold, and the second floor is the entertainment room. Aki suggested that we go down to the second floor and squeeze together on the sofa in the entertainment room. I suggested that we go to the fourth floor first and smash the window of Yuna's room. She is the official center after all. I searched everywhere and actually found a heavy brass ornament. She really wanted to freeze us to death just now. I was very angry. People who do bad things will have retribution. Aki, John, retribution is God's business. I weighed the ornament. How long do you have to wait for God? Wait until I die of old age? I will enforce justice on behalf of God today. 7. Maybe the sound of our argument was too loud. It was like a loud conspiracy. The door of the room closest to the staircase on the fourth floor opened. Teacher Zhu had already moved to a new room, and an uncle came out. He was very friendly and said, "She is not living in the original room. Now I don't know where she lives." My plan failed. Seeing my sullen look, the uncle laughed. He was very cheerful. "You are John, right? I've heard your songs. They are very powerful, and the newcomers nowadays are all very good." Aki was so excited when she saw him that she opened her eyes wide and shook my arm wildly. "Teacher Zhang, Sean," she stammered. "Oh my God, Teacher Sean, you have been my idol since I was a child. Sean is a singer from Taiwan. He was also a superstar 10 years ago, and he was extremely popular. Although he is now out of date and makes a lot of money by performing everywhere, he is still the youth of a generation. For example, Aki. She wanted to spray flowers and lightning in her eyes to tell the world that she appeared in the same frame with her idol. Sean looked at us with interest and smiled at us kindly. There are 2 empty nanny rooms in my suite. He opened the door very gentlemanly. If you don't mind, you can spend the night here for the time being. 8. The nanny room is very narrow and the bed is low, but it is clean and has heating, which is much better than the single sofa in the entertainment room. I was a little hesitant at first, but Aki was already overwhelmed by his idol and rushed in without being able to speak clearly. Thank you so much, Teacher Zhang. Aki was so excited that he was incoherent and bowed repeatedly, his face full of joy and admiration. Really? I grew up listening to your songs. You are really amazing. Sean is almost 50 years old. But because he has been managing his appearance for a long time, he still doesn't look old. He is elegant and kind, and he even poured us water. I saw everything that happened today. John is a courageous girl. No wonder her singing is so powerful. He praised me. It's really great. I like you very much. I was flattered, but also felt a little uncomfortable. This? You are praising me. I can't bear it. Teacher, Shang smiled slightly. No matter how well a middle-aged man takes care of himself, there are still slight fine lines at the corners of his eyes. He reached out his hand, trying to hold my face and look at it carefully. I know the organizer of the talent show. I will send you to be an actress. I turned my face to avoid his hand. Now my smile was also awkward. Teacher Zhang. I look very ordinary. Seeing my embarrassment, Sean's smile became deeper and more playful. John hasn't had a boyfriend yet, right? He said. Then from various angles. They are all newcomers. How can I answer such a question? I changed the subject randomly. It's late. Teacher Zhang. Let's rest quickly. I forcibly pulled Aki into the nanny room. Aki was still unwilling. She was immersed in the joy of meeting her idol and didn't feel anything wrong at all. The nanny room was very small. We were supposed to have a room each, but I don't know why. I felt extremely uneasy. I wanted to take out my mobile phone to check the information about Sean, but there was no signal. Aki, does Teacher Zhang have any scandals? I used very euphemistic words. Aki rolled around on the bed in excitement. She was stunned by my sudden question. She thought for a moment and said with certainty. Teacher Zhang is married. His wife is a producer of company. I saw him posting a family photo a few days ago. His children are all adults. I see. My heart was a little relieved. But there was an incident before. Aki said. But Teacher Zhang's public relations have always been very good. There has never been any negative news. If it weren't for an old fan like me, I guess no one would know. 5 or 6 years ago, it seemed that a girl from the music college was pregnant. And then she was mentally abnormal. She was crazy and wanted to jump off the building, saying that the child was Teacher Zhang's. Everyone thought it was a lunatic and there was no credibility, but she did say Teacher Zhang's ID number and home address. Finally, someone found out that Teacher Zhang did transfer money to her. Aki was shocked. The girl is not very old, only 18 or 19 years old. This incident caused a huge sensation, but the public relations efforts were also very fierce. It was suppressed on the same day, and I don't know what happened afterwards. Later, Teacher Zhang's studio came out to clarify that the girl failed to seduce Teacher Zhang, so she was stimulated and went crazy and did this. A little girl of 18 or 19 seduced an old man in his 40s or 50s. I said with wide eyes. How is it possible? How dare they say such a ridiculous thing? Aki also felt it was a pity. She sighed. Social influences like this, no matter what happens, as long as you put the dirty water on a woman's head, everyone will believe it. As if we were born to take the blame. We have been internet celebrities for so long. You should know it very well. Thinking of what Yuna did during the day, Aki was listless. She sat on the bed hugging her knees and muttered, "After this variety show is over, let's go back to the internet and do live broadcasts. I think this entertainment industry is just like this. It's not interesting." I didn't say anything for a long time. Female students in their 18s and 19s are definitely not the opponents of middle-aged men in their 40s and 50s in terms of social experience in various aspects. And Sean is a man with a certain social status. She was easily played by him, and finally had to bear all the infamy. In the end, the girl jumped off the building because of pregnancy and was ruined. But Sean, no matter whether he was innocent or not, he went to the back smoothly. Even though he was out of fashion, he could still participate in variety shows to make money because of his previous fame. Thinking of his weird words and behavior today, I felt more and more uneasy. I began to regret it. Perhaps it would be better to squeeze on the sofa in the entertainment room on the second floor for a night. This bed is too small. How can I sleep at night? Aki was a little worried. Didn't they say there are 2 nanny rooms? Let's each have one. I woke up with a start and said quickly, "You sleep on the bed and I sleep on the floor. We can't separate." Aki didn't understand. But he didn't refuse this arrangement. 9. We spread the quilt on the floor and started to prepare for bed. The night was very quiet. The wind and snow outside became smaller. Through the window, I could vaguely see the beautiful king lying on the bed. And I was lying on the floor. She said, "I hope this variety show will end soon. I want to go back and sing. I'm too tired today." I was exhausted physically and didn't eat anything. My stomach was rumbling, but my eyelids were getting heavier. I was sleepy and couldn't even hear what Aki said. Half asleep and half awake. A gust of wind blew by. I felt a little cold, so I turned over and huddled in the quilt again. Wait a minute. The nanny's room is so small. I opened my eyes suddenly and found that the door of the room had opened at some point. Someone was standing at the door, quietly watching the 2 of us. Damn. I woke up all of a sudden, got up in a panic, and pushed Taki awake too. This stupid variety show. First it became PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And now it's midnight. Fortunately, the person who pushed open the door of our room in the middle of the night and stood quietly in front of our sleeping faces in the room was a living person. Teacher Sean was wearing a nightgown and holding a book in his hand. He was not surprised to see us wake up. Instead, he smiled slightly. "Teacher Zhang." Aki also realized that something was wrong, and she smiled apologetically. "Huh? How can I sleep?" the old man said slowly. He walked towards the room. His eyes fell on us without any disguise and very straightforward. "I am here alone, and I can't sleep alone at night. Teacher Zhang has a harmonious family, and it is normal to worry about his family." I hurriedly mentioned his family. My heart was in my throat. "I believe we will be rescued in a few days. It's so late, I think." Sean looked at me and laughed. "Pretend? What are you pretending to me?" The veteran singer finally let go of his elegant appearance and showed his fangs to the newcomers on this cold night. He came up and grabbed me, and his words were very explicit. "As soon as I called you, you entered my room. Now you are half-throatedly giving in to me. What's the point? Why don't we hurry up, so that we can also make good friends? Go out you two. You two are new singers. Then you should know what resources I can give you." "How can we know?" Aki and I got up and ran outside. 10. Sean was caught off guard. He didn't expect us to react so quickly and was pushed away by us. When we had already fled to the corridor, he realized that we really didn't know the rules. At this moment, Sean's face darkened. He chased me out and easily grabbed my clothes. I was the last one to leave for Aki, but I felt a strong force behind me. Unexpectedly, my sweater and underwear were torn open, and a large area of skin on my shoulders was exposed to the slightly cold air. Luckily, Aki and I had already fled to the corridor at this time, but Sean didn't want to let us go. He chased us out and sneered at our miserable appearance. "You took the initiative to enter my room first, and now you are pretending to be innocent again. What is he sarcastically saying? It's really disgusting." Aki helped me cover my back. She was so angry that her face turned red. "You I didn't expect you to be such a person. I thought you were kind enough to let us stay here. But you actually wanted to do this. Sean laughed as if he had heard a big joke. He looked at us with great joy, his face full of mockery. You offended Yuna during the day. Who would dare to be kind to you? I'm very kind to you by letting you come in to accompany me. This is also a way to give you a way out. He said without any concealment, and nakedly without any fear. You are happy to accompany me, and I will give you food when you go out. Otherwise, you can wait for Yuna to kill you. Aki and I were so angry that we were shaking all over. Sean changed the subject. He sneered and said, "The window of your room was smashed. Such a big scene. I heard it. Everyone knows it. Do you think anyone will come out to deal with you? No one cares about you. This is the entertainment industry. I advise you two to take off your clothes and come in to have fun, if you know what's good for you. In this way, you can still get along after you go out." At this moment, I stared at him, not knowing what I was thinking. My brain suddenly twitched. I asked him, "So, was the girl who jumped off the building at the music college forced to get pregnant by you?" 11 When mentioning this, Sean's eyes flickered. But at this moment, we were in a big villa in the wilderness, isolated from the world. There was nothing here to contact the outside world, and he didn't even have a cell phone. So he said without any scruples, "You women are like this. You say you don't want to, but in reality, you laugh happier than anyone else after getting the benefits. But people should learn to be obedient, unlearn to accept their fate." She just didn't accept her fate, and she even shouted that she would report me to the media. But what happened? She still ended up in disgrace. Sean said unscrupulously, "I tell you, this society is like this. Even if you leave here and go out to spread the word, people will only say that you came to seduce me." He had completely exposed his cards. The corridor was dark, with only a few wall lamps emitting dim light. It was just as he said. No door was opened for us, and no one spoke for us. Everyone tacitly chose silence. Even if someone would be forced and destroyed tonight, we would never intervene if it was not our business. Sean's words were indeed true. When we get out of here, even if we tell him everything that happened tonight and we sue him, in the end, he only needs to pay a little, to easily make us a bad name for seducing. Just like that female student. Debauchery is the best weapon to attack a woman. Moonlight. Sean approached step by step, and we were already forced into the corridor. He was at ease, smiling and mocking, looking at us with contempt, as if he was looking at an ant resisting. But at the same time, his expression was greedy, and his eyes with desire lingered on us. We were considering where to attack first. We were forced into a desperate situation by him. There was no way out, whether it was our bodies and free will, our careers, or our reputations. They would all disappear tonight. You hurt an 18 or 19-year-old girl like that. Don't you feel guilty? I yelled at him. How can you live with it? Sean looked at me strangely and casually reached out to grab both of us. There are so many girls like this. I have to deal with all of them. How can I handle it? At this moment, I made up my mind. I reached out and pushed Aki next to me hard, then grabbed Sean. Aki fell to the ground in shock, watching me tearing Sean apart, and smashed the French window with my body jumping out from the 4th floor. Yes, I went crazy and jumped off the building. My body fell rapidly, and Sean's face was filled with fear, but I held him tightly, as if I was going to pull him straight into hell. I screamed hysterically, and the cold wind blew my voice away. How can a person like you not get retribution? Fuck you, old bitch. I'm going to fight you to death today. 12 Chang Shangtian was dragged to my body by me, thinking that I had thought it through and took the initiative. He didn't expect that I would just drag him to my death, break the glass, and jump out from the 4th floor. The cold wind rushed in from the broken window. Aki stuck his head out of the 4th floor window in the wind and snow, but couldn't find us. Help! Help! Aki stumbled to his feet and knocked on the doors of each room. John fell down. Please, please, please save her. The doors were slammed shut. A few people opened the door, but they were still hesitant. Aki saw that he couldn't rely on them. So he ran to the first floor by himself. The door on the first floor was already blocked by the snow outside. Aki tried his best. She cried. John, we won't enter the entertainment industry. We won't sing. We can find someone else to scare me like this. Aki held the door, knelt on the ground, and cried and trembled. Help! She desperately shouted to this group of indifferent people. Save her! Footsteps were heard from the second floor. Aki subconsciously raised her hands, were Ian's team members. She immediately stumbled to the second floor, and before she could kneel down to beg them, the two bodyguards had tied professional ropes around their waists and jumped from the second floor window into the snow to rescue her. Thanks to the snowstorm a few days ago, the new snow outside the house was very soft. The snow was also very thick. The man fell from the fourth floor and smashed a human-shaped hole directly on the snow surface. The location was very easy to recognize. The two bodyguards tied a rope and went down, and they pulled the man out in a few seconds. Sean was only wearing a night gun, and I pulled him directly into the snow, and he was already frozen unconscious. I was still somewhat conscious, and there were a few scratches on my body, but I was also very cold and couldn't speak clearly. Ryan, who said that his identity was sensitive and couldn't appear again, was standing in front of me at this moment. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and his face was uncertain. You are really good at making things. Ryan wanted to say something else, but was stopped by Leo. Leo seemed to be afraid of something, rescued us, and immediately took Ryan back to their room. To such a big commotion. All the people who should wake up and those who shouldn't wake up woke up. Everyone was standing on the edge of the corridor or on the stairs, and they all looked over. I was wrapped in a thick blanket, but I was still shivering with cold. Ryan's assistant Joy was left behind. He poured me hot tea attentively, asked Aki to rub my skin. I don't know if Aki learned the technique from the doctor's sister, but he rubbed me so hard that I cried. The doctor will be here soon. She just woke up and is packing up. Joy let me take a sip of water. He suddenly sighed, no longer the mean, difficult or overly enthusiastic person he used to be. He said to me sincerely, Miss Kiao, you are awesome. 13 awesomeness is fun for a while. After a series of operations, such as robbing instant noodles, having windows smashed, and jumping off a building in the middle of the night, Aki had to keep rubbing me all over with alcohol for fear that I would burn my brain. I was clear-headed at the beginning, but soon I became drowsy and my mind was not clear. This went on for several days. Aki watched me eat instant noodles, or fed me instant noodles, until the wind and snow gradually subsided and the rescue team arrived by helicopter. My fever still did not go down. The outside world rescued us and left in batches. I was the last batch. My brain wasn't working well. I pointed at these people falling from the sky and said in horror, "Oh my God. Everyone is so funny." Aki and Joy helped me to the top floor and got on the helicopter. The media came with us, and Leo was dealing with them. My head was groggy and I sat on the plane blankly, in a trance. A man sat next to me. I thought it was Sean, the idiot, and said impatiently, "Zhang, get up quickly, or I'll pull you out of the plane." He laughed. I turned my head and saw Ryan wearing a mask. "Why is it you?" I was stupid and not sober. "Why are you the last one to leave?" Ryan sat next to me and saw my stupidity and laughed a little. "Why can't I be the last one to leave? You are a big movie emperor," I said. "You deserve your status if you fly out by yourself." Ryan laughed. He glanced at the countless cameras outside and said to me, "Classmate John, you are going to be famous all over the internet. What do you want to do?" Except jumping out of a plane. I didn't believe him and didn't take it seriously. How can I be famous? I felt dizzy and wanted to vomit. I have a bad fever. I want to go to the hospital for an IV drip. Ryan said. I'll go later. He asked me again, besides going to the hospital, what else do you want to do? I hesitated for a moment and said very honestly, I have offended someone. I will go back and ask the company if they cannot fire me. Ryan laughed. He patted me on the shoulder and said very seriously, "John, think about it carefully. You are famous all over the world. What do you want to do?" I didn't understand what he said, and asked him blankly, "You became famous after a play, and you are famous all over the world. What did you do?" He glanced at the media outside and said in a low voice, "I moved my mother's grave. She has been a lover all her life, without a name, and I can't enter the house after I was born." Ryan said casually, "The first thing I did when I became rich was to move my mother's grave back to her family's home. If you are not happy when you are alive, don't be miserable after you die." I was silent. "If I become famous," I said, "I want to hug you." Ryan was stunned. I said slowly, "Just like when we were children. Every time you mentioned your mother, I would hug you and let you not be sad. But now as not a child. You are a big star, and I will not become famous." I said, So, I was just thinking." The next second, Ryan really stretched out his arms and hugged me. "Congratulations. Your dream has come true," he said. "John, we must be very successful, so successful that those who bully you and me will all jump into the sea in anger." I was flattered to be hugged by the big actor, but when I saw the camera outside, I was even more shocked and stood up directly. The high fever made my legs and feet weak. I stood up suddenly, and my eyes went black and I fell down. The media had seen us. They didn't care at first, but when they saw our intimate behavior, these people got excited. When they rushed over with cameras, they saw Ryan being knocked to the ground by me. Before Ryan struggled to get up, I got up dazed and ended up kissing him. Countless shutters recorded this scene. This is destined to be another hot topic today. 14 Ryan is an illegitimate child. His father is a factory owner. He is a playboy. He played around everywhere, and accidentally got Ryan. After a paternity test, it was confirmed that it was his own. His father was quite open-minded and directly let Ryan and his mother move into his house. The first room and the second room. Living in the same room. Since he was a child, Ryan and his mother have been bullied together, and their lives are dark. And I live next door to Ryan. My mother and father died in a car accident when I was very young, and my aunt and uncle became my legal guardians. They immediately moved into my house, ready to inherit everything from my parents. As a result, my father his assets will be frozen, and will not be used until I am 18 years old. On the day when my aunt was notified of this by the lawyer, she chased me with a clothes hanger and beat me. She broke several hangers. Then they started to raise them like puppies raise me. A mouthful of food, a mouthful of water, a piece of clothing, locked in the room day and night. As long as I can live to the age of 18, nothing else matters. So, Ryan and I are actually quite close. When we were young, we were beaten together, and when we grew up, we both ran away from our families. Ryan's family is very complicated. In order to prevent him from snatching the family property, his father's wife sent him to learn acting and dancing, hoping to spoil him. As a result, the youngest actor was forced to emerge. My family is very simple. During the long years of waiting, my aunt and uncle came to their senses. They wanted to kill me directly and inherit my parents' inheritance. So I ran away. But I didn't do as well as Ryan. When I was serving dishes in a bar, I was accidentally signed by an internet celebrity company, and finally I made a living by relying on the voice given by my parents. 15 We are both in the same boat. Others are very famous, while I sing live. I am so poor that if Ryan directly said I was his friend, I would be ashamed. I would have no face. I would be ashamed and embarrassed. As a result, our photos became a hot search, and the whole network started to support us as a couple. I was almost scared to death. Of course, there was something even more terrifying. When I was on IV drip in the hospital and started playing with my phone, I found that my Weibo followers increased by 50 million. 50 million. I sat up subconsciously, unpressed the nurse bell. "Nurse, I am crazy. Please save me." You know, before I went on the variety show, I only had 2 million fans on the whole network. barely a small online celebrity singer. This is not enough to fill the gaps between the teeth of the real big guys. As a result, the snowstorm trapped me for a few days. How did I ascend on the spot? Didn't this variety show not even shoot? Could it be that Yuna publicly announced to ban me as soon as she came out, and everyone came to see which unlucky guy I was? With shaking hands, I quickly started to post online dramas. The world of ice and snow is on air. Cameras everywhere are broadcasting live. You can click and unwatch. The variety show has become a live reality show, and it's open to the whole network. I had a bad feeling in my heart, and I clicked in with shaking hands. When I saw the broadcast time, I was trapped on the day. In other words, the whole network knows about our various quarrels in the villa these days. Satellites are connected to hidden cameras in various places in the villa, broadcasting faithfully to the world around the clock, without blind spots. The entertainment industry may have all kinds of rules that can't whisk people into ghosts, but the audience is always upright. The cumulative number of views of The World of Ice and Snow has exceeded 30 billion, and the maximum number of online viewers has exceeded 300 million. It has directly transformed from a small and broken variety show into the most popular show of the year, but this comes at a price. Some people walked out of the snowfield and became famous overnight. Some people's fame will always remain on that snowy night. 16. The live broadcast recorded everything, from me snatching instant noodles, to Yoon bullying newcomers. And finally the leap of faith between me and Sean. Everyone is a villain. Their true colors are exposed, and they have nothing to do with human beings. This blizzard blew directly from the snowfield into the entertainment industry, bringing a cold winter in various senses. And everyone is in danger. At least 100 million netizens were angered by Yuna's rule theory, and Sean's seduction theory. They rushed into all platforms related to these two people, forcing various businesses to announce the termination of contracts overnight. Even other celebrities who usually have close contacts with Yumi and Sean have spoken out on various social media to distance themselves from each other. Even the official has intervened in the investigation of the incident between Sean and the female student. Public opinion is very intense, and everyone is indignant. Oh my god. Is this Yuna? Isn't she a sweet girl? Why is she hoarding supplies? It's all scripted. How can this variety show be real? Who is this newcomer? The goods-buying hero? It seems to be an internet celebrity. She runs quite rationally. This is too much. Do workers have no human rights? The little internet celebrity is so miserable. She is at the bottom of the entertainment industry. Spray. Aren't celebrities just actors? And they keep saying all kinds of things. Oh my god. Yuna just stepped on her head. Self-harmed. This internet celebrity cried so miserably. What a poor woman. Wow. This little sister is so miserable. Why does Yuna treat her like this? And she still dares to brag about being the sweetest girl in the domestic entertainment industry. What's sweet about it? Stepping on her head? Are they the two new dogs behind her? Boycott Yuna under Chanyu. Boycott the stepping sister. Boycott her dogs. Wow. It's still our Master Key who came forward to save people. The best Yun Yun in the world. Yun Yun flies boldly. Yun Duo will always be with her. Love love. Oh my god. The hard window. Someone is going to die. John found something to open the door. Come on John. Come on. Fuck. The door opened with a swipe. 666. She was carrying something to go up to find the stepping sister. She really is the best if she doesn't agree. I'm a fan. This girl is really nice. Is Sean also participating in this program? Ah, he took in the girls of course. Our Uncle Sean is a very good person. Oh my god. What did we hear? I said that the female student jumping off the building was not right. So disgusting. The domestic entertainment industry is rotten. The top post is, the relevant departments took Sean away for investigation according to law. The latest post is Yuna apologized publicly and was ridiculed by the crowd. And the sweet girl changed her name to Stomping Face Sister. The most lively people in this variety show are naturally me undaki. But other places where we are not, they are also very lively. There are for female newcomers who have entered undixited Sean's room late at night. And the boyfriend of one of them is Dylan, who smashed our glass in the show. In addition, there is another actress who knocked on Ryan's door for 2 consecutive nights, without wearing any clothes. Ryan naturally ignored her. After knocking for a long time, the actress turned around and went to Dylan's room. These were also exposed by netizens. One by one, the marketing accounts saw that this year's KPI was about to be achieved, and everyone was as excited as if it was the new year. Everyone is pursuing their dreams in the entertainment industry. But some people are destined to have difficulty turning over. 17 I lay on the hospital bed, watching the number of fans on Weibo continue to soar. It seems like lying on the clouds. It's unreal. There are also a few nurses who came to take pictures with me and asked for autographs. I was flattered. The next day, Aki and her agent came to the hospital to see me. They were also beaming. Good fellow. I really underestimated you. The agent, Sister Hua, was really laughing. I have always hated Yuna. She wanted to sleep with all the sponsors in the circle. But what's the use? Now, she is still hidden. Cool. She patted my shoulder. You are still very capable. You have knocked down to 2nd-tier stars at once. And even hooked up with the movie Emperor. I blushed when I was praised. But I was stunned when I heard this. What movie Emperor CP? I said. I don't have it. Sister Hua looked at me meaningfully. It's okay if you don't have it. Some of us have already gone to negotiate with Ryan's company. She said with a smile. I heard that you are old friends? That's great. I will arrange for you to promote the childhood sweethearts right away. This will be very popular. My heart sank. Wouldn't that be bad? I said. Ryan never uses scandals to stir up popularity. He doesn't want it. But you have to. Sister Hua saw that I was not getting the point. And she got anxious. You are now the most popular musician in the country. Take this opportunity to make some topics about yourself, and release a few new albums. Are you still afraid that you won't be able to enter the top 10 singers list next year? I was stunned and didn't say anything, because I think Ryan won't agree. Just like in the variety show, the actress knocked on his door without wearing any clothes. But he ignored her. He has encountered too many such things. But he never wanted to do it. Now I am plotting his fame, calculating him, tearing off his glory and sticking it on my own face. Then what is the difference between me and others? And that actress? For fame and fortune, I stick to Ryan. So I am the same person as Sean. I said slowly. Sister Hua, my ability can't actually make it to the top 10 singers list. Sister Hua didn't take it seriously. So what? Do you know how many electronic online albums you and Daki sold during the few days you were there? She held up a finger. 10 million copies. No one will be more popular than you two this year. I held my phone, but my heart was very heavy. Don't do such a thing. I said seriously. Sister Hua, I read all the comments. Now everyone likes me because of my behavior in variety shows. They praised me for being brave and said I'm different from others. But if I stir-fried a CP with Ryan, I would be just an ordinary star in everyone's eyes. And public opinion would definitely backfire. Sister Hua was stunned for a moment. Ryan would definitely not accept it. I said with a smile. The number of actresses who rushed to form a CP with him might be from here to France. Why should we humiliate ourselves? After hearing this, Sister Hua frowned, then turned around and went out to make a phone call. I didn't take it to heart, and sat with Aki to peel oranges. A few minutes later, Sister Hua rushed back like a whirlwind. She was very excited and looked strange. She held her phone and said to me, John, you are so lucky. Ryan agreed. I was dumbfounded. 18 I don't understand why Ryan agreed. But the company was so happy that they sent out a press release overnight. The cover was actually a picture of me falling down and crushing Ryan, facing the press conference. The spotlight was like a sea. Everyone was very enthusiastic. I sat there with my head held high, fidgeting. When asked how I fell in love with Ryan in the villa, I read the scripts that I had prepared long ago. Full, warm, thinking. I couldn't read it anymore. And my face turned red. Damn, who wrote this? How could I have the nerve to read it in front of so many people? At this time, a reader stood up. His voice was so loud that it drowned out the whole audience. And the way he pronounced words was very interesting. Ms. Kiao, you were in the limelight in the live variety show because you rejected Mr. Sean's invitation. Now you are with the movie star Ryan. Is it because Mr. Zhang didn't give you enough? My face changed. The world is bustling. All for profit. Ms. Kiao. Maybe Mr. Zhang is also a flower lover. But he is not in a high position. Not as good as the new movie star. So you look down on him? This reporter was obviously arranged in advance. When he opened his mouth, a strong maliciousness came to my face. And Mr. Everyone knows that Mr. Zhu publicly stated that he is a fan of Ryan last year. Is she making things difficult for you, because of jealousy? Maybe she looked down on your behavior of clinging to a high position, so she took action to discipline him? I glanced at the audience. And Sister Hua had already led people to rush up to tell him to shut up. But this is a live broadcast. He was like a rat dropping in a porridge pot. This male reporter must have sent bad things to the enemy. There is no doubt about it. But the other people in the audience were also led by him. For a moment, everyone looked at me with subtle eyes. This reporter shuttled through the crowd with a malicious smile on his face. His goal has been achieved. But I don't want him to get his way. 19 I sat there quietly and reached out to pick up the microphone. In the variety show, we didn't know that there was a live camera broadcast. So these things happened. I said calmly, Teacher Zhang is involved in a criminal case. I think it is not appropriate to call him a person who loves flowers and cherishes flowers. And the reason why he can do such things unscrupulously, and without burden, is because your pen is protecting him. You took the money and turned black and white, pushing the victimized women into the abyss. You said so much today, just to tell everyone that I am a bad woman who is dissolute, snobbish, materialistic, and greedy for money. It's like, if I'm a bad woman, I deserve to die. And the teacher Zhang who oppressed me just made a small mistake. The male reporter was finally caught. Stars at the press conference are not allowed to say extra words without arrangements. He didn't expect me to be so hardcore and confront him directly, and his expression was a little surprised. I smiled and asked him loudly, "Hello? This reporter friend. I want to ask. I am obviously the victim. Why do you use his mistakes to attack me? You are particularly sure that I seduced Ryan, just like a woman's only meaning of life is to seduce men like crazy." I said, "You are so skilled. Last time Sean harmed that girl from the music school. Was it you who helped to throw dirty water?" Hearing this, all the eyes around looked over. And I also said, "You are confusing right and wrong. And you are doing something wrong for the tiger. The girl is only 18 or 19 years old. Are you really a reporter? How can you do such a thing?" The camera also cut over. And he panicked. This person finally felt the pain when it was about himself. He desperately covered his face to stop the camera from filming, and shouted angrily, "You just think that Mr. Zhang is not as famous as Ryan. So you flatter him. Why pretend to be innocent?" Furious, desperate, Sister Hua quickly brought people to control him and forcibly pulled him out of the venue. This press conference will definitely be a failure. I sighed softly, and put down the microphone. Aki sat next to me, her face full of worry, and she reached out and held my hand. "I'm fine." I smiled bitterly. "It's over. This CP is definitely blown. Aki, we can't make it to the top 10 list." 20 The press conference was cancelled. Ryan sent us a letter immediately to stop the CP cooperation. This made Sister Hua very angry. She immediately led people to visit all the marketing accounts and revealed a lot of hard information. For a while, Sean's scandals were flying all over the sky, with pictures and texts. No one spoke for him. When the wall fell, everyone pushed it. And the male newcomers that Yuna and her company wanted to promote were all hidden. Only the female newcomers who followed her before but didn't help her much are doing business as usual. Aki still thinks it's strange. And sister, who had just said meaningfully, the sponsor behind her is not simple. Isn't this a strong guarantee? Yes. This kind of thing in the entertainment industry will never stop. In the current materialistic and fickle world, all we can do is stick to ourselves. Aki and I returned to the two-person band mode, spending every day in the music studio, recording songs and posting updates on Weibo. Although the press conference was ruined that day, I became a little famous again. Last time, I dragged Sean to jump off the building and became a hot topic on the internet. This time, I opened the microphone and blasted the unscrupulous reporters, which resonated with many female fans. They saw a kind of strength in me, a strength that refused to be weak. These fans wrote me many letters and gave me many gifts, and the company's front desk was full of them. I had no way to repay them, so I could only hold a lottery on Weibo every day, and then I won Ryan. Looking at the golden avatar and the winner list and the big V pendant next to it, the corners of my mouth twitched. Damn. What is the probability? When did Ryan secretly follow me? I was stunned and immediately prepared to draw another lottery, pretending not to see him. But the next moment, he sent me a text message. Where is my prize? Didn't you draw 500 yuan? I grinned and replied to him, big actor. Do you need this little money? Let me go. There was no movement over there. After a long time, he sent, no conscience. I thought about it and couldn't bear it. I still sent him, what is the actor doing? I got Yuna's compensation this month. Treat you to dinner? You really suit her. The other party was at a loss. You sold at least 10 million songs. And she lost all her endorsements. The penalty for breach of contract is probably enough to bankrupt her family. You still suit her? I honestly said. The lawyer introduced by brother Zhao. The lawsuit organized by sister Hua. Aki and I are waiting to collect the money. Is there such a good thing? Ryan quickly said. Then I'll come over to have your meal after filming at the end of the month. I agreed. I put away my phone and saw Aki with a sly smile on her face. She deliberately bumped my shoulder. Why? Are you chatting with your CP? I pinched her nose. The whole world knows that my CP is you. Sister, hurry up and practice the harmony part. Aki was a little disappointed. Childhood sweethearts. Two little innocents. She shouted. Why can't you be together? I think you are a good match. Hurry up. Win the Best Actor award and reach the peak of your life. I smiled and shook my head. Who can own Mount Fuji with love? And the peak of my life is definitely not with any man but with you. I put on the sound feedback headphones and smiled at her. Sister singer, are you ready to pursue your dream in the entertainment industry together?